Darren, we were talking the other day and you had a pretty interesting story about the commercial and defense manufacturer that you worked for in San Diego area and how this implementation really, really helped you guys. Can you tell us a story about that?
Sure. So in 2010, I was 36 years old and I was the chief operating officer of an aerospace manufacturing company. And we were struggling to manufacture Joint Strike Fighter components and parts. I was continually late on deliveries to our customer. I had quality nonconformances on every part I manufactured, which basically was the reason we were late. I needed to go and solicit the customer for their approval for acceptance to ship nonconforming hardware. And you can imagine what that means from a financial perspective. We were missing revenue, so I was missing my monthly and quarterlies. We were missing the profit that would drop through as a result, which is the real pain of the whole thing. And then I had an upset customer, and I was desperate to do something different. And at that time, I had an individual that I worked for, he was the CEO of the company, and he said, Darren, you should really speak to Kevin. Kevin has implemented this technology, not quite sure what it is, up at a facility up in Washington. Why don't you give him a call? So I was desperate to make a difference for obviously myself and for my customer and for the site as a whole and to be successful. So I reached out to Kevin and I spoke with Kevin about this thing that he did on his NC programs, which was called adaptive machining. And after about an hour phone call, I remember distinctly telling him, I said, Kevin, listen, if this works that well on this part that I'm struggling with, I'll implement it across the entire facility. So I actually connected with, at the time, the owners of NCSS that had this adaptive manufacturing solution, and I invited them down. And we chose the one part that I was struggling to manufacture. That part was a containment case. It was $225,000 at the time. So you can imagine the lost revenue and lost profit for everyone we didn't hit and then an upset customer. We implemented it and we saw an immediate benefit. No longer did I have any parts that went on concession, meaning asking my customers to buy my junk. The velocity of the product was flying through and was predictable as it was going through the facility. And the amount of process time dropped significantly from where we were at about 1,000 hours per part to a fraction of that time. So it helped throughput, quality, and the velocity. As a result of the success there on that singular part, we implemented across the entire facility, and all parts today use that same technique to be manufactured. Although all the features are different, it's the same solution, meaning NCT, an adaptive machining software across all features on all parts. That's it.
That sounded good.
Does that sound all right?